Welcome to the loan officer sales training with the mortgage calculator. We'll wait just a few minutes here to get started. Today we're going to be going over email and direct marketing, but we'll wait a minute here to let everybody hop on and give us a chance to go live on all the different platforms because we are streaming this live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So as you tune in, feel free to drop a comment. I see a couple comments already coming in there. We have the chat up on the screen. So feel free to drop a comment there and feel free to drop any questions you may have as we go through the presentation here today as well. Thank you for the comments there. Annette, Melvin, Jason, appreciate it. We'll get into it here in just a moment. And we will go through the presentation here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in nice and early. Appreciate that. And it looks like we are live on all the different platforms, so we can go ahead and get started. For those of you still tuning in, feel free to drop a comment there as we go, and also drop any questions that you may have as we go through the presentation here today. So welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, and today we are doing our sales training with the Mortgage Calculator that we do at 12 p.m. Eastern every weekday. Now let me pull up my topic here today, which is email and direct mail marketing. So we're going to talk about a few things here today. Got my little mailbox there up on the graphic here. And so we'll talk about a couple different ways to approach the email marketing and direct mail marketing. Remember, this is all pretty important, but I will say that nothing is as important as picking up the phone. That's why we have all these other trainings on different ways to call people and pick up the phone and use the auto dialers and stuff like that. So while email is great, direct mail is, I guess great for some people. I don't think it's for everybody. But at the end of the day, in this job and in any sales job, which is essentially what we are as loan officers, there's nothing as powerful as picking up the phone and dialing. So just keep that in mind as we go through here. These are not magic bullets, right? These are just things in addition to actually picking up the phone. So with that being said, this slide, we're going to talk about just email marketing. The average open rate for a email, marketing blast or, newsletter, or whatever it is you want to call it, is anywhere between 15 to 21%. That's an open rate, right? That has nothing to do with actually like reading it, clicking it. And some of these are kind of false because most of these email marketing platforms tend to pick up some people as opens, even if they didn't actually open it. And so just keep that in mind. It's a pretty low percentage rate of people that actually open, some type of mass email. And then the click rate is extremely, extremely low, maybe 1%, even if that, right? So what we're going to do, especially here at the Mortgage Calculator, is we're going to make sure that our emails are not giant blasts to a bunch of people that essentially do almost no good. We're going to use our individual email follow-ups, which actually have a good open rate and response rate. So first off, we're going to use our action plans, right? Automated drip campaign, whatever it is you want to call it. These emails are going to be addressing the person by name. They're going to be, actual emails from us. They're not going to look like a mass email to everyone. They're going to be specific to their individual situation and what we are speaking to them about before. So using our action plans, we're going to have a much higher, open rate and click rate and response rate than we would by just mass blanket emailing a bunch of people. The other thing we're going to do, if you really want to have a high open rate and a high response rate and engagement rate, is to follow up on existing emails. There's nothing better to get a response and to, not go to spam and not be deleted than to go to an existing thread, right? That's if you already have an existing thread with this person, it's not going to go to spam when you reply in the existing thread, right? So following, obviously using the action plans to automatically contact them. But if you want to go through and create engagement and, drum up business and talk to people again and touch base with them, the best way to do that via email is to find the conversation you were having with them already and literally respond to them in that thread. Nobody gets an email to their inbox that's a conversation they were already having with someone and not open it, right? This is somebody you've already been interacting with. It's pertinent to whatever conversation you were talking about. So as far as emails go, that is the highest rate at which you can get responses to, right? There's no way to get a higher response rate, a higher open rate than literally going to an email thread that you were already having with that person and responding to it, continuing the conversation or updating the conversation or just following up in general. Is there anything we want to do now? I was just thinking about you, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of the holy grail of actually getting people to re-engage, is that if you already did happen to have a conversation with them, don't send a new email, right? Go into the existing thread that's already there and follow up on that thread. Even if you're not talking about what that thread was about, right? You're just going to use that thread to make sure that the email gets through, that they see it, that they open it. Because again, when you have a thread going back and forth, you can see that in your email. You see, I have 10 emails with this person, 5 emails with this person. You're obviously not just going to delete it, and it's 100% not going to go to spam, right? Because they've already been engaging with you. So that's a 100% way to not get your email going to spam, is to follow up in the existing thread. Now, at the Mortgage Calculator, we're blessed to have our system that we do have, which sends the quotes. And the best way to follow up with, emails besides responding to their thread, like I was just talking about, is to follow up with quotes, right? We talk about this on the other trainings. We're following up with value. When we send a quote, it does send the client an email, and we're emailing them something with value, something to talk about, something to follow up about. So making sure that you re-quote everyone, like we talk about in our trainings, is very important, because they're also going to have a pretty good open rate. Notice we plug in their name, their loan type, the loan specifications, the lowest interest rate that you are offering in that quote. All of that is in the email. So it's a very dynamic email talking about their scenario. So it doesn't really go to spam very often, because it's all individual dynamic things. You're not emailing them the same thing that you emailed to thousands of other people. The email servers know this. They pick up on it, right? That's why a bunch of those email blasts go to spam and they don't get opened and they don't get clicked. So when you're following up with a quote, the email that they're getting is so dynamic that you're going to have a lot of success. And then once they open it, you're going to have a ton of success of them actually clicking the link, because once they open that email, they're seeing, oh, you put together this quote for me. Yeah, this is my quote for my specific scenario. Let me go check out the rates that we have going on now, right? So that's also going to be a high conversion rate when it comes to them actually opening it and them actually clicking it. That's one of the great things about what we do here at the Mortgage Calculator, is send those quotes and always continue to update them with those quotes with real value. And that's the key there. Now, the next slide here, we're going to talk about direct mail marketing. And some of this is kind of, not exactly direct mail, but we're going to talk, it's kind of in the same category here. So direct mail marketing, obviously direct mail, when you think of direct mail, you're thinking of mailers, right? You're thinking of literal spam, like what they actually used to call spam, right? And keep in mind that you don't need to do any of this nowadays. They have tons of services out there where you can just pay X amount and they will make your mailer for you. A lot of them, they'll write it like it's in writing. You can totally tell it's not real writing usually, but they'll do that personalized touch and put a signature on it for you. You can even send them your real signature, and they'll put it on the bottom there for you. Even the post office will do direct mailers for you. So there's a bunch of companies that do it. The companies will get more in depth with like how they allow you to, select what you're sending them, and they'll put it together for you and all that kind of stuff. But even the actual United States Post Office has, you can pay them to do direct mail campaigns. But there's just so many options now. You don't have to sit there. People used to have to sit there and make up these mailers and sign them and mail them out and stuff like that. Those days are far gone. There's all kinds of cool ones with cool technology and all that kind of stuff, to where you can just go on the website and say, hey, I want to mail people in this zip code this flyer. They'll print, they'll do whatever, they'll print it, they'll send it out for you and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool thing there for direct mail marketing. Now, when you're doing direct mail marketing, this is not just something where you're just going to throw something out there, right? Where you're just going to say, oh, I want to send just a flyer with, my name and picture on it and stuff like that to somewhere around me. We want to target it allows you to target zip codes, right? It even allows you to target smaller areas as well, even smaller than a zip code, I believe, on some of them. But at the very least, the zip code, we're going to think about this for a minute. We're going to stop and we're going to say, okay, where do I want to send this? What zip code and why? Why do I want to send to this zip code? What am I sending? It has to match. It has to click, right? To where it's not just some general blanket. You want a specific thing. You want a specialty. You want something that connects you and what you're sending them to that actual area or the people you think would live in that area. You might want to say that you're a specialist for that area. You might want to be talking about investment programs, that you're a specialist in investment programs. If you think that you're mailing it to an area code, maybe with people that have money, and so you feel like they would have money to invest in real estate, or maybe it's an area that you don't feel has money. Maybe you feel it's an underserved community, that you could say, hey, you know what, I should let these people know about my non-QM programs, because a lot of these people may think that they can't qualify for a conventional loan, but they probably don't know about bank statement loans. Maybe you want to send a bank statement loan direct mailer to this zip code because you feel that that would be what would benefit them the most or attract them the most, right? So when you're doing direct mailers, totally fine to do them. You have a lot of options now, pretty cheap. This goes back to kind of what we were talking about the other day on this training with billboards. Nowadays you can get a billboard ad for like $200, and you can choose which billboards you want it to rotate through and stuff. Direct mailers are like that too, right? It's not like it used to be where you have to put in all this work. I mean, it's as easy as clicking a couple buttons on a website, telling them what you want to send and where you want to send it to, and you're off to the races. So some of you may want to experiment with direct mailers, which is totally fine. Some people may think that they don't want to participate in that, and that's fine. But some people may think that they want to get out there and put their actual, flyers or letters or whatever it is out there in front of people. Now, the next thing I have here is closing gifts. Now, at the Mortgage Calculator, we do that for you, right? So that's what's really cool, is that when you close a loan, our bot, actually our gift bot, sends them an email and asks them some questions. And when they respond with those questions, it essentially curates a gift package for them based on the answers to their questions. And it sends them a box with our name on it, right? And from you with the gift. And so that's pretty cool that we have that here. But just in general, sending a gift is cool. I know some people, they have like a program through UWM where you can have them do this for you and stuff like that. But at the Mortgage Calculator, we're really already doing it for you. Now your client has to actually, go through that process, right? They have to get the email and they have to click into it and answer those questions so that it knows what to send them. It might say, do you drink alcohol or do you not? Or do you like music or whatever? And it might send them a bottle of wine and some headphones or whatever. It's going to ask them a couple of yes or no questions, and then it's going to use that to curate a little gift package for them. And then as long as they go through that process, it will send it to them. And that makes a big difference. It's, goes back to the referral training that we had as well. There's reciprocity there of, you staying top of mind. They already closed. You may have already asked them for referrals, but at the end of the day, once they get that package a week later or whatever it is, you're staying top of mind. They're saying, wow, that was great. You know what? He or she asked me for referrals, and wow, they sent me a gift package. I am going to refer anybody I know to them and tell them, yeah, this was nice. I even closed the deal, closed it on time. It was a great situation. And they sent me a nice gift afterwards. It was very thoughtful. And now I'm going to definitely take them up on what they asked me, which is, let people know about their services and that they're great at what they do. Right. So that's another one there. Now, flyer marketing, obviously you could send flyers when you're doing the direct mail, but I'm really talking more so about flyer marketing as far as putting them on events, or some people, I don't really recommend it, but like putting them on, car windshields or on people's doors. Or, maybe you live in a condo building and you want to put flyers on everybody's door in the condo building or whatever. Some people do that, right? So flyer marketing, again, I would just go back to the point of, just like the direct mailers, let's have a purpose here. Let's have some kind of niche, some kind of area where you're trying to focus, instead of just spam can be spammier when it's just random general stuff. It can be a little less spammy when it's like, this is the reason I'm giving you this flyer, right? Because you live in this building. It's a little more applicable to realtors in this situation, where they would send the flyers to everybody that's in the building and say, I specialize in this building. Whenever you want to sell your condo in this building, or whatever the case may be, you could do the same thing as a loan officer, but it's a little less, I guess, doing it as a loan officer, as a realtor, would make even more sense to, specialize in a building. But my point here is that find out what you want to get the point across that you specialize in, and, do whatever it, I guess just get the word out there of something specific, something that you would like to target, right? That is the real thing. Now, door knocking. This is something that people actually do. You got to have some tough skin to go door knocking. Now, realtors do this a lot, but loan officers can do it as well. Loan officers can take lists like people that are getting foreclosed on, or, short sales, or, all kinds of different ways to get public records of people who may be having issues, people who maybe didn't think they could refinance and get out of their situation, but we may have some non-QM programs that would allow them to do so. So that also goes back to flyer marketing and direct mail, but also door knocking. Maybe you knock, nobody's there, you leave a flyer on the door, but there are multiple ways that you can get information of people who may need your services more than others. And in that case, you could go door knocking. Again, you got to have some thick skin to do that. It's similar to cold calls, right? But much harder, right? Much more difficult to pull yourself to do. But here's the thing. When you actually do get somebody to answer the door that would need your services, it's going to be a much stronger connection than if it was a cold call, right? You're there in person, showing that you care, showing that you're there, showing your face, building that relationship, and letting them know that you're going to try to help them out. And you won't always be able to, but at least you're there and you're trying, right? So when it comes to direct mail, I kind of put that door knocking and flyer marketing in that section, but it's really a little something different. But it goes to the same exact point as mailers. We're going to find something. We're not just going to blindly do it. We're going to find some reason, some niche, some type of way that we can get across that it's not just general spam. We're actually trying to help people in certain situations, and we specialize in certain situations, and we would love to work with them because they live in this area, or they have this going on, or something like that. And the closing gifts is a big thing. At the Mortgage Calculator, again, we do this all for you, which is really cool with our bot. But either way, closing gifts, a big deal, showing that you care. And again, following up, making sure that you ask for referrals. The closing gift goes right into that, right? Make sure you're asking for referrals. Touch base with them as well. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, hey, did you get the gift package that we sent you? And that's perfect time to follow up again. If you're calling just to make sure they got the gift package, hey, just want to make sure you got the gift package that we sent you. Now is a perfect opportunity when they say, yeah, that was great. Really appreciate that. And then you say, okay, no problem. It was a pleasure working with you. Please just keep in mind that anybody that's looking to buy, refinance or buy or needs a loan officer for any reason, let them know I am here. I would really appreciate that. So you're creating that reciprocity of, I did something for you. I would really appreciate it if you return this in the future, right? And that will create more referrals in the future for sure. All right, I don't see any other questions here. We'll be right back here tomorrow with a new topic, 12 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, for the next episode of the Loan Officer Sales Training with the Mortgage Calculator. Have a great day, everyone.